Okay, and a quick test and 5, 4, 3, 2. Can't even do my fingers now. Look, one. Hello, everybody. How are we? Okay, so how is everybody? There seems to be a bit of a problem with my notification system. I don't seem to be getting the notifications coming up for about the show. Just double check. It is Wednesday, isn't it? We're not on
Yeah.
the wrong day. Good, good,
No.
good. So what I'll do is I will just keep waffling for a little bit. Um, so oh, we've got 3 watching. Hello, everyone. Right. So today we're doing issue 24, which I am very happy to say that I've got. Now, bit of a inside thing. Oh, sorry, we better say hello to Horlicks, hadn't we? As he's our presenter as well. So, hello, Horlicks.
Hello. Hi, Dave. Chris Davies. Hello.
Hello. So,
Everyone's
what have you
there.
been up to this week, then?
Oh, normal. Well, trying to work. I did something to my back, so I've been in a lot of pain with my back. But now I've just been working and playing with 3D printers.
Lovely. As have as have I. As I got
Yes.
a 3D printer on Monday. Thank you very much, Horlicks, for helping me sort it. So hello, Chris Davies. Hello, Dave Say. Now, I have an exclusive scoop for you. Hopefully, next week, we are going to have a guest on this show. What we're going to do today is we will do the build for issue 24 as we always do. Then we're going to have a monthly segment where, because Horlicks is an early subscriber, we're going to talk about his issues when they arrive. Now, they did arrive last week, but we didn't get the chance to talk about them because we were doing the competition. So Horlicks is going to talk about them this week. So it's going to be like, what's it? Issue 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is it 2, 3, 4, and 5 you've got?
3, 4, 5, and 6 were my latest ones.
Right. So that's about 18 weeks. That's about 4 months that we had them. So it'll be really nice for us to go back in time for a bit. Anyone here not heard of Harry Potter? It'll be like Hermione's little necklace thing where we just spin back in time. So hopefully we've got some tests to do. We've got a guest lined up for you. I won't tell you who the guest is in case it all goes wrong. So we've got some tests. We did also have. We're trying to get another a guest. We had Will and Mike Anderson actually want to come on to the show, but we tried to get that sorted out, and he said that he doesn't actually have the equipment to come on. So unfortunately, that one's not going to happen, which is bad news. But we've still got next week's guest, and hopefully we'll have more guests. So, would you guys like to do a build?
I think we should. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you a quick look at the front page, the inside. Well, what do you call it? I can't remember. I can't get my words out today. So today we are going to be doing gearbox casing and connections. And now I thought last week's I didn't think was overly complicated if you took it stage by stage, but it looked very complicated. But to be honest with you, this issue, I think it makes last week's look really simple. Looks like there's so much to do and so many small parts. So I am really excited about that. We've had the non-technical issues, which obviously some people like. These are the kind of issues that I like. So shall we do a parts check?
Yeah. There's so many parts, isn't there?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different parts, excluding the screws. So, yeah, and they look really good. I am really, really happy today. So let me just cut open the bag and then we will carefully tip the parts out. And then if you'd like to call them out in some form of order,
Yeah.
that would be brilliant.
Okay,
So,
so we've got 24A, which is gearbox casing.
okay, and that is metal. That's really nice. I want to show you this actually because this looks fantastic. can't seem to get my focus to work.
Are you focusing the
No.
right camera today?
I am.
Oh.
There we
Ah,
go.
there you go. That's it.
So the detail on that looks absolutely amazing. Look at the nuts and bolts down there. Down there even. That's lovely. I'm really liking that. So.
Okay. Yeah, we got 24B, which are lines.
Okay, we've got 4 of those, and we recognise these, don't we, from brake lines?
Yeah, they look like the brake lines, but they're obviously, I think they're part. We're doing the gearbox and part of the engine, aren't we? So
Yeah, yeah. And they're obviously rubber.
lovely. 24C, a valve.
Okay, and this looks a little bit like an aircraft wheel, you know, the undercarriage and the wheel from like a Spitfire or something. Or maybe it's from a Halifax. So, but that's plastic.
Okay, 24D, more valves.
Okay, and there's 3 of these. Again, that's plastic. Detail on this is amazing. I mean, I don't think you can complain about these being plastic. Well, I mean, would you rather have a metal part that hasn't got much detail or plastic that's got lots of detail? It's the way I'm seeing it anyway.
Yeah,
Okay,
Chris
so
Davies says they look like straws. The part,
they
the
look like
lines.
straws.
I suppose you
I
could use
suppose
them as a straw.
Yep, I can confirm you can.
Okay, 24E, a cover.
Okay. Right, I think that's this. It certainly looks like some kind of cover. And that, again, that's plastic.
Okay, 24F, we got a tank.
A tank.
24F, yeah, tank.
Do you know, I'm sorry, I've got the wrong bit. Sorry, I just don't think I'm dumb. As you see, that it just looks like a circle, but obviously it's looked at it from this view. So that's the tank.
Okay, yeah, 24G, tank end.
There you go. And it's funny that going back a few issues, sorry, these are black plastic. Going back a few issues, people have defined the or made a comparison with the back wheels as being dustbin lids, and I think this looks like an actual dustbin. So
I suppose you could use that as a salt shaker as well. Looking by it, the holes
do you
in the
know
top.
what? Do you know what? Leave it to us. We'll sort everything out. Yeah, that's quite handy because I don't like a lot of salt on my dinner.
Okay, 24H is a regulator.
Okay. I believe that's it. I'm trying to get it the same way as the magazine. Oh. Do you know what? I think oh dear. Right. I'm just gonna fast forward you. You got 24H and 24I as a regulator and connector. And I'm trying to get the I think that is the regulator.
Yeah, I think so. That
I
looks
think
like it.
that is the connector. But I'm pretty sure that once we actually assemble them, it will start to make a bit more sense.
Yeah.
So I'll keep those 2 together.
Okay, so we've done those 2. Okay, so 24J, a valve base.
Okay, and that looks like the valve.
Is that a plastic part as well?
Yeah, sorry, the last 2 are plastic as well. I think that... There we go. Right, that's how it is in the magazine. And that's quite nicely detailed. Nice paint. I'm happy with that.
Okay, 24K is valve lock.
Okay, there's the valve block. Again, that's plastic. Quite nice detail. I quite like the bolts on there, and that's nicely coloured.
Lovely. 24L is another line.
Okay, smaller line this time, as you can see.
Okay, and then we've got 24M, which is a cover.
And looks like that in the magazine. Yeah, and that's plastic.
Okay, and then you should have 4 types of screws. You should have some 1.5 by 4 mil EM screws.
Right, there's the EM screws.
AP 1.7 by 3 mil.
Yep.
And FM 2.3 by 4 mil.
Yep. The famous FMs.
Famous FMs, yeah. And the some AM screws 1.7 by 3.
Now, I don't recall seeing AMs and APs in the same issue. I'm guessing these are absolutely identical apart from the thread, which they do look pretty much the same. So if you drop these, they it could be easy to get them confused. But the P screws have a much wider thread, so obviously, like, they don't need to grip quite as hard into the metal. I don't know. I'm not a screwologist. So right. So
Stuart. Hi, Stuart.
I was just about to say hello. Hello, Stuart. I don't know if Stuart has watched us right from the beginning, but I know he's recently started commenting, and all comments are always welcome. It just kind of helps us keep going. So shall we begin then?
Yeah, okay. So the first, you're going to need 24K and 24J,
Okay.
which are the valve block and the valve base.
24K and 24J. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you need to fit the valve block to the valve base, and it's a push fit connection.
Okay, so the way I'm lining this up is this part here is the orientation point for me, because obviously that's the unique bit. So if I line it up like that, the only thing that's confusing me is that in the picture you've got 3 lines.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any lines on the actual parts. And then the actual valve block, you've got the locating pegs are facing downwards, and the actual valves are pointing outwards like little machine guns, and they will go out that way. And did we say, yeah, it's a push fit connection?
Yeah.
So that's just going to go in. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. So that goes in okay. So there we go. We've got the machine guns lined up. Only joking. No machine guns on this Routemasters, although I could have done with a machine gun today. Okay.
Okay, so now you need the gearbox casing, and you need to position the 2 screw eyelets on the flange of the valve base over the screw sockets on the gearbox.
Right. I've got the wrong part.
That's it. Yeah, 24A gearbox.
Sorry, yeah. Do you know what? So, tip for you: always look for points of reference. I don't know what I did, but that's right. I got, yeah. So I'm looking. I thought this part was this part, and I'm using this point as a point of reference, and I couldn't see it. It's not till I've actually got this part that I realised. So check the instructions. It's always worth checking them 2 or 3 times. So 24J, the part that we did last part.
Yeah.
You've got 1 hole there, and we've got this this little tab that we use as a point of reference. That's pointing outwards. And then on 24A, the gearbox casing, we've got this little bit which goes, you've got three bits pointing out with holes in. 2 is going straight out 90 degrees to the main casing. We've got 1 that goes off at an angle. That one needs to be at the bottom, and then you know you've got it right. and that's going to go in like that.
Yep, and then you're going to secure that into place with 2 EM screws.
Okay, 2 EM screws. So let's get the... I should have done these beforehand, shouldn't I? I think I might say that every week. So.
Hello, Rick.
Hey, Rick, how are you? Right, that's far too big, so I'm going to go to the little Routemasters screwdriver. That's a much better fit. So I've just... Oh, you know what I've done, don't you? Right. So I'm just putting that in just enough so that it grabs. And then I'll put the second...
I was thinking we've got the washing up liquid today.
You know, I was hoping you weren't going to mention that, because I'm going to fill you in on a joke. Horlicks showed me an idea, which I'm quite upset I didn't think of it myself. But what he's done is he's got a little dropper bottle and he's put his washing up liquid in it. And I said, oh, why didn't I think of that, or words to that effect? And what was it, your response? Saves you running to the bathroom at 8 o'clock, at 10 o'clock. And just as I...
8 o'clock, yeah, when the stream starts.
Yeah. And I've just started doing this, and I thought, the washing up liquid's in the bathroom. So I was trying to go, but 2 of you've noticed, so I might have to go and get it, because I have not been prepared enough. So there's quite a lot of screwing in on this, but I'm doing a little bit on one, then going backwards and forwards. But I'm actually happy with that. And look at that, right? You've got a plastic piece and a metal piece, and if I didn't tell you which one was which, you wouldn't know which.
No,
so I'm happy with that. 3 pieces there, 2 plastic, 1 metal. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
Hello, Michael Kemp.
Right, so that is that little part done, and then step 3. You need to fit the stem of the screw socket on the valve 24C into the corresponding hole in the gearbox casing.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, so I'm going to get my screws ready.
Yeah, AP screws for this.
Right, so the orientation of the magazine, the part we've just put on, is going to go to my right at the bottom, and then we've got the 2 straight up, I'm going to call them tabs with holes in. I'll tell you what, bear with me 2 secs. I'm just going to go and get me WUP.
You had your issues delivered to the Smith.
Right, so my apologies
get deliveries.
Okay, I'll sort that in a bit. Right, so we've got the diagonal tab at the bottom. We've got the part that we've just put on to my right at the bottom, and then the sticky up tabs with holes in, and then this part 24C is going to be pointing to my right, and that's going to go on the right hand side, like and there's also a locating pin just there, and that locating pin is going to go into a tiny hole there that I've only just noticed, and that will go in like so.
Oh yeah.
And that will be secured with the AP screw.
Yeah.
And I won't put washing up liquid because we don't use washing up liquid on plastic screws. Make sure you get that straight, otherwise it could cut into the plastic at the wrong angle. In fact, I've actually put it in not quite straight. What I've done is I've just supported that with my finger. So I'm actually, in effect, screwing, aiming towards my fingertip. And I'm going to turn this gently because it's plastic. And then once it's gripped, yeah, I'm happy with that. That's nice and tight. And again, we've got another piece of plastic. And I don't really think you can tell the difference without me telling you.
No, no, it's a good match.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, part
Okay, so
4.
yeah, step 4. Looking at the inside of the gearbox casing, position the tab on the cover 24E through the slot in the casing over the screw hole.
Right. Okay, so we've got the plastic part that we fitted on my left. The part that we've just put in the previous step there is now obviously going to be on my left. There's the screw that we've just now put in, and then you can see the previous part. Now, right, you see you've got the screw hole there, and it's slightly off center. You want that on the right because it's going to give you 1, 2, 3 pokey out bits. If you have it the wrong way, you can see you've got two bits. But if you look at the magazine, you've got 1, 2, 3 pokey out bits, and that's just on the right, little offset, and that's going to go in the lower hole there, and that will go in just like that. And
Yeah, and
because
then you need to
yep, sorry,
fix
come
that
on.
in. Yeah, no, I was going to say just fix that in with an EM screw.
Yeah, and because we're using an EM screw and we're putting a plastic part on, remember that the screw is going to go into the casing, not onto this part that we're putting on. So I have put washing up liquid on this time, and boy, can I notice the difference. Wow. Yeah, now when I started using this washing up liquid, I did say I'm not going to draw a conclusion because I've only done it once or twice, but it does seem better. But I've got to say, for as long as I've been doing this, I've not come across a problem. Right, so I've just done that until it's tight. Going to check the part. There's no movement at all there, so I'm happy with that. There's a little
Good.
bit of a gap there, but I don't think that's going to be anything to worry about.
Okay, so the
So,
next part of step 4 is to turn the casing over
yeah.
and then fit the pegs on the valves 24D into the sockets in part 24A.
Okay, so now we've only got one place we can put them, and you can see there's a hole in the middle, and these have got a locating peg. So that's the correct way to put them. So they're going to be facing the opposite way to this one. But I'm just out of curiosity going to see what happens if I put them in wrong. Yeah, that's not going to fit. There's only one way you can physically put this in, which is like that. And they're going to go in with AP screws on the bottom.
Yes. Fix in place with 2 AP screws.
Whew, my with this hot weather and the washing up liquid out, my room now stinks of lemon again. I think I'm going to have to go back to getting Tesco's washing up liquid. I used to buy that wild cherry flavour.
Wild
But I'm
cherry.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm not a big fan of citrus fruits, and anything red berry is really nice. Sorry, my apologies, Michael. Everything that right, this casing is metal, but everything that we've added to it is plastic so far. Right, I'm just going back to this one. I don't like that. There's a slight wobble on there, so I'm just going to tighten that up. Right, there is still a slight movement on there. Not really anything noticeable, but I'm not going to tighten that up anymore because I don't want to over tighten.
No.
Right, but these, they're fixed on nicely, so I'm happy with that.
Okay, so we're going to be playing with some wires now, some cables,
Right.
or the lines. So take the first line,
Yep.
24B, and
Yep.
fix one end to the first pin on the valves 24D. So they are one of the three on the top.
There we go.
Okay, and then that's going to wrap underneath and then
Okay.
attach to the other ends on the second pin on the valve block.
Okay. Like so. I'm guessing this is going to get hidden up then underneath.
Ah, possibly, yeah.
Are we doing speculation too early?
Yeah. No, I like speculation.
Yeah, I know you do.
Okay.
Right.
And then attach a. Well, we've done that. It says no in the diagram on the left. The first two pins are circled. Repeat the process to fit the further two lines in the same way.
Right.
Below,
So what
left,
we're going to
and
do is
center.
we're going to do the second one to the third one and the third one to the fourth one.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will fill all of these pins. But as you can probably guess, so that one's going there, wrap that underneath, bring it up. This isn't especially fiddly, but you haven't got a ton of room. Right. So this one, and then wrap it underneath. As you see, like it's not, it's ever so slightly fiddly, but probably 4 out of 10 on the fiddly scale. So what we've got there is we've got all of these pegs pins done, but we've left the top and the bottom one on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then lastly,
Okay, so then it says fit the short line 24L
yeah,
to the pins on parts 24C and 24K.
which is this top one there that we've left out,
Yeah.
and to that one. Okay. So does anybody think that these lines are too short or too long? Do they look okay to you guys? That one looks, I'm comfortable with that, but I have nothing to back up that these are long enough or too short or.
Mm. And I suppose the worry is if that was any shorter, it could kink the wires and then it would look
Yeah.
even worse.
But that looks nice to me. Even if
Yeah.
that's the wrong length, I'd say that looks nice. Aesthetically pleasing. Okie dokie. So.
Okay, so now we're on to step 6, and you need to locate the drive unit from issue 22.
You mean this?
Yes, that's it.
Sorry, I've not actually read these instructions. These I'm reading these for the first time, and where I went, it's just I looked one stage ahead, and I thought, oh, I recognise that, and then yeah, here it is. Right, so we are placing the two holes down that way, and then we are placing. Right, it says the bit that's circled. Identify the fixing points circled in the diagram for the final line. So that's going to go in. Oh, I see. Like, I'm not committing to this just yet. Ah. Okay. Does that look right to you, Horlicks?
Yes.
It looks right to me.
Yeah.
That's going to be fixed with 2EM screws, which
Yep.
remember are metal screws. So did they go in with a little screw? Yeah, they did. So, oh, we've got two stuck together there. Oh, they were actually stuck. I think the threads had got interlocked. So this is going to be the tricky bit. It's just holding it in for the first one. So I just want to double check that orientation. So again, that looks right to me.
Yep, that looks good.
So hold that in place, and we'll get that first screw in just to grab it. Dip, dip, dip in the wop. Remember, because these are metal screws, they're cutting the thread in. So if you put them in wrong, you could have buggered it. There you go. So that's just enough to grab. So now I don't have to worry about that bit too much.
And there's a, so you say the washing up liquid's really making a difference.
It really is. I've not. Do you remember some of the early issues at some of my videos? I'd be like, "Oh, that was difficult to go in. I'm going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards." I'm really not having to do that since I've been using washing up liquid. This is why I said it wasn't conclusive, because not all the screws I had to go backwards and forwards, but since using the washing up liquid, I've not had to. Now I've just caught one of the wires, so I've pulled that off, so it's not going to be a problem. I'm not saying it needs gluing or anything. I think it's just it's some of these parts I've noticed that they're not really going to take any abuse, but I don't think this is intended as a toy, so I don't think it needs to take any abuse. So we'll just fix that again. There we go. Right, one's in. Oh, be careful! You don't drop it like I do I drop something every stream. Guarantee it.
Okay.
Right. So
and then the next part of that's good. And then the last part for step 6 is to fit the remaining line.
Right. Okay. So help. So it must go on to this pin there because it's the only pin left available.
Yeah, that's right.
Know if you can see it. Just there, which was actually the bottom one, but we've now turned it round. That's going to go under there. In fact, actually, I think it'd be easy if I fit this end first. Now, this pin doesn't seem quite so long as the others. Okay, that's a bit of a struggle there. That doesn't want to go on.
Right.
Right, okay. What I've done is I've given it a slight twist as I push it on. Because again, we don't want to ruin it. But that seems to have gone on with a slight twist. I know I've seen it mentioned about licking the end. I'm not overly keen on doing that.
No.
But, especially.
Well, I suppose, and you can't. I wouldn't recommend washing up liquid or anything either, because obviously the risk is it would be too loose.
This one is coming off again. So be careful. Well, I think what's happened is where I've pushed it on, it's come off. It's stretched it ever so slightly. So sorry, I have noticed that some people are gluing them on. I'm not over keen on gluing them, because I mean, if I need to trim them or anything for accuracy, once they're glued on, they're stuck on. But I think that once they're placed on, they'll go on fine. Like I say, if a 4-year-old was playing with this as a toy, then yeah, we need some way of securing it better. But It's just going to sit on the shelf on a nice display case, and I think that's going to be absolutely fine. It is a delicate model, and I'm very happy with that fact. So that's how that's going. So you can see it's a bit of a jumble underneath. I'm trying to keep them neat. I'm pretty sure that Horlicks is going, oh, sort them out.
No, not yet.
But again, I don't know what. Whoops. I don't know what the situation is going to be like once this goes on to something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, are you happy with that?
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm loving it. Da, 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 da. Right.
Okay,
So, what's
so step
next?
7, we're going to be playing around with the dustbin
Yay.
or the salt shaker, whatever one you want to call it.
Salt shaker sounds more hygienic, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so you need to fit the tank end to the tank, and it's a push fit connection.
Now, it has this part in this orientation on the magazine, but what you'll notice is a rim around part 24G with a little notch cut out. And that notch will line up. There's a little line on the inside there. So there's only one way you can get this on. As you see, that's not going on until I move it, and then on it goes. Simple as that.
Okay.
So,
and then fit parts 24I and 24H into the corresponding holes in the tank cap as shown in the inset.
right.
So you're going to have to look at that. And it says that these are push fit connections.
Right, lovely. This is perfect. Right, you
and
can.
It also says that the pins on those parts are spaced differently to ensure that you fit them correctly.
That's what I just tested. So these are actually the two parts that we couldn't quite be sure which is which. But what you'll notice is you've got one larger pin and one smaller pin. And then on this one, you've got one larger and one smaller. And then here you've got two rows, one large, one small. Now, there's the large one there. I can't get that in there. You see it's spaced wrongly, but it will go into this one. So in actual fact, it doesn't matter which one of these is I and which is H. They're only going in one way.
Yeah.
So, and they'll push it from the middle because it was quite stiff. If you're pushing it on one side, you could quite easily snap those locating pins. And then this one will go in. There you go. If you're gentle, what's the word I'm looking for? Firm but gentle, firm but fair kind of thing. And that's gone in there rather nice. I'm very happy with that. And there it is on the inside. Again, none of these parts can be put on because what I've noticed is that there you can see the correct orientation of the salt shaker part. But by the time you get to here, with the shadows, you really can't see any detail on it.
No, so it's difficult to see, isn't it?
It's just a case of shove it in. It's only going to go in one way, which I think is that's the correct orientation on the magazine. Okay.
Okay, lovely. So step 8, you need to grab the chassis.
Oh, now let me I'll tell you about the chassis later on, actually. I was having a fiddle the other day and I had a bit of an issue, but the issue's gone. But I'll get to that later on. So remind me, fixed problem with chassis. Okay, so the chassis is going upside down. And remember that way you can tell that whether it's upside down or the correct way is that's the correct way. If I push down, the suspension's working. Okay, upside down. Don't do this too much because you're going to put a bit of stress on that middle. But there's no suspension, so that's the way we want it.
That's a good tip, that.
Thank you. So this part needs to... Right.
Okay, yeah, so looking at the underside of the subframe, identify the fixing point for the tank circled.
Okay, that's the fixing point, and I'm going to have to play with my focus, I think. Now, you're going to need to focus here, guys, because no pun intended. Right. On the magazine, it explains where the focusing point, where the fixing point is, but then it does a close up, and that's where you could lose yourself. And I think that this is going... Ah, brilliant. It's going there. So let me bring this in. Right. Sorry about this, guys. I'm in two minds. I should read the instructions beforehand so I know exactly what to do. But then on the other hand, I like going in blind. Right. So, according to the big picture, the fixing point is there. Which obviously you'll see when you get the magazine. But as it blows in, that circle refers to there. But I actually want you to fix it there. And I'll explain why. That's the fixing point that's circled. But if we now move to there, you'll see that there's two holes. Now, what I didn't notice until now is here we've got one hole and we've got a locating pin. So that locating pin ensures that we can't get this the wrong way round. There we go. And it goes on like, move the light.
Yep, and you're going to fit that into place with an AM screw.
Right. Right, now I've made it impossible to work because I've got a lamp. I'm going to show you this actually. Because if I was a viewer, I personally would find this funny. I'm not at the moment. Right, that's my working position. So there's the chassis, there's the camera that I'm using, and there's the lamp, and I'm trying to work here. So the torture I put myself through for you guys. Right, so how do I lose screw? There we go. AM screws. So there is 3 screws in a pack. Well, just get this way. Remember, these are M screws.
Yep, so washing up liquid at the ready.
Yeah. And I would use a larger screwdriver for this, not the small one that we've been using. So we have the locating pin is in, and you know I can't see the screen now. There we go. So that's going to go in, as Tommy Cooper would say, just like that. Right, so I've just done that just enough to grab, and then I'm sorry, I'm going to block all the view, but if I don't block the view, I can't screw it in. So again, that has gone in. That's gone in like butter that's been in the fridge. I'm happy with that. So there you go. It's in nice and tight. Oh, watch these. These are actually quite loose, but they're meant to be like that, aren't they? Not loose, but they're push fit. So keep an eye on those. Okay, so what's next?
Okay, so step 9. There's a little red circle on the magazine, obviously, and it says when fitting the gearbox casing, offer it up from below. but ensure the fixing tabs are in the correct positions as shown in the diagram below.
Right.
So just before you get, I'll tell you what the build is, just bear that in mind.
Okay.
So we need to identify the 3 fixing points for the gearbox casing.
Which are here. Let me move the camera. So as I'm right, if you've got the back wheels to your left, which you should have, you'll have the part that we've just put in. If we go up, there's a 3 points there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so
brilliant.
there's
So
the rear wheels. There's the part we've just done, and there's the 3 fixing points. So here comes the fun bit.
So, okay, working with the subframe the right way up, which we've done. Position the gearbox casing as shown on the right, with the screw eyelets aligned with the fixing points. Ah, I see. So we might have to turn the chassis over actually.
Yeah.
Because it says
it's going to need it. Right, I'm going to show you something that might make you say I'm clever. Right, I'm going to turn it this way. Now, I think what it was trying to explain in the last part was locate where they are, not that you actually need them. Now, what I've done is the points that I've picked up my chassis and I've turned it that way. So now the wheels are on my right. Okay, and my points of reference, there's the part we've just put in, which is there. And you can see that the silver bits are the same direction. And just above here, you've got this spindly bit. I forget what that's called now. I do apologize, but that's masked off. So we've got the wires are on on my left, and I want to check the fixing points. There we go. Right, okay. So fixing point, fixing point, fixing point, fixing point, fixing point, fixing point. Now, the part that we had to mask off last week, that's going to go into there. You see that okay? Just there. So I see now why. Okay. I see now why they want us to offer it from the opposite side. If we offer it from, let me check the suspension. Right. If we offer it from below, we can move that in like so. But then on the way up, oh, this is really fiddly. Okay, I've lost a cable. This is, do you know what? It's me and my big mouse saying it's not that fiddly. It's like when you go, you know, when what is it? What doesn't kill you what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's a statement, not a challenge. Okay, so these do need to go above. There we go. But on the way up, we can now catch this bit. There we go. And just gently put, I actually pulled that too hard and I very nearly came a cropper. So that's going into there, which is why we offer it from below. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good.
There isn't a lot of maneuvering space, but I can get the screw holes lined up. And I'm not happy with those wires. It's going to nip those wires as we screw it in. So we want to make sure that we're happy with those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull them up one at a time in the order that I want. Probably primarily so that they're neat more than functional. So I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm sorry, guys, you can't, can you? No. Oh, you could. Right. So one wire. I think it's going to be easier if I just pop the screws in just enough so that they grab. Do not put them in tight. Right, that's holding, so I'm going to be very gentle. Can you just remind me what... Oh, no, we don't have screws yet, do we? Okay. So I think that is actually part 9 complete. I think part 9 is just getting that into position.
Yeah.
Does that look right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And then, yeah, step 10, it says when the screw eyelets in the tabs on part 24A are correctly aligned with the fixing points, use 3 FM screws to fix part 24A. Then it says note, the lines that were fitted in step 5 and 6 have to be arranged to one side as shown in the inset below.
Okay.
With the screws in place.
So if you have only got 5 minutes left, don't do this. I think this is going to take some time. So this is the orientation that we want. And we can see that these ones, which is going to be these, they want to come in from that side. But these ones, which look like they were... the ones that I said look like they're going to push and nip, that's because they don't want to go there. So
that's confusing then, isn't it? Because they've saved that detail for step 10 when it's asking you to fit it in step 9. So surely it would have been best to have sort of mentioned that.
Because you need to catch... If you put this in from that side, you see you've got this is going to be difficult to show you, I think. Right. You see that is overhang. So it's got to come in from the bottom, ideally. But also, if you come in from this side, it's going to be difficult to catch this little bit. So you've got to kind of... you've got to catch this as you come up, but at the same time, these have got to go above the tabs. So I think it's just a case of taking your time. So, what I'm going to do, I think what will make it a lot easier, I'm now going to turn the chassis so that the wheels are to my left. And the reason for that is there's the bin salt shaker that we've put in. And there's the salt shaker there. So now we're looking at it from the same way as the magazine. And now I can clearly see these bits are wrong. These bits... Right, let's do these first. You know what? Believe it or not, I am actually liking this. But I think most of you know this is my kind of thing, where it's literally as simple as don't read the instructions, you'll get it wrong. Do you know what? That's come off. Okay. I think... Right. Because I've not screwed anything in, if this goes wrong, we can always just pull it out. I've taken the pipes off. And I'm going to push them that way. Okay?
That's a good idea, yeah.
Which then means I can pull these pipes up. And I can get them in the right way. There we go. So they're in what I'm going to call Horlick style, i.e. nice and neat. I suspect in real life they wouldn't be. You know, the guys that are working on it, they have so much work to do in a limited amount of time, and they just, so long as they're in and they're functional, they're fine. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these screws in so that they grab, but no more. Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, as Dave just said, you could do with three hands,
Yeah.
and it looks that way.
This actually isn't the first time I think that that's been said. So, right, that's grabbed. That didn't take an awful lot for that to grab. So really be careful here. I'm kind of going away from how the magazine is suggested, but I'm doing what works well for me. Right, that. Okay. Oh, I've just dipped the screwdriver in without actually having a screw on the end. That doesn't quite work, does it? There we go. Right, so now that's not going to go anywhere. So check those wires are still okay. I'm not worried about these, and I've got a plan in my head how to make sure they go on right. But they are just, they're going to go into there, like that. That's what it's going to look like from the bottom. Obviously, they'll be a bit shorter. So once we've got those wires where we want them, it's not going to nip them, but it doesn't hurt to have them neat. So I'm going to go in and tighten these screws up now. Just be careful about pushing down too hard, because remember, this is only connected with 4 screws. That reminds me, what I did at the weekend was where I've attached the 2 chassis points, there was a slight wiggle, and I wasn't overly concerned for the pure reason that when it's this way, it by putting things on the chassis, it kind of pushes it together. It's only when you've got it upside down that it was forcing it apart. But what I actually did was I took a bit of a chance. I took the screws out, and I popped a little bit of washing up liquid on them. I screwed them in, and now this has got absolutely no movement on the chassis whatsoever. So I owe the 2 Daves a massive, massive thank you. Sorry, I've just seen a comment. Stuart has said, Penny, doesn't that spindle go in the side of the unit? Yes, it does, and no, it doesn't. What it's done is it's actually coming in the side there, but there's a hook, and that hook needs to go into that hole there.
So I assume when you eventually when we put the other side of that gearbox on, it's still going to look like that is going into the sides.
Yes, because it looks like something's like there's a hole there, which I'm going to assume at this stage is some kind of screw hole. Right, so I also just caught the bottom of a comment earlier on. Dave says, looks like the cows go over a cover plate on the back. Lots of wise words of wisdom with this build tonight. Thank you for that. Thank you, Dave. Now, to be honest with you, once you've put those screws in to bite, I personally would be telling you to have a break, walk away, have a cup, make a cup of tea, come back with your big Alton Towers mug.
Yeah.
Check the magazine again and then go for it. Right. So because I've got these cables neat, we know which way they go. So the first one goes to this first one there. So what I'm going to do, it's going to be extra work, but we'll take this first one, we'll thread that under. We'll then move that round, and then we will, okay, This is why I said take a break. Because it's now not making sense. Right. Right, that is correct. Go into there. I need to see. Sorry, guys, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Okay, right. So what's actually going to happen is that that's coming up from there.
That looks a bit tight. Is there any way of it,
tight.
that cable that comes up? Is there a way of that fitting through that corner piece? Just yeah.
What I've done is I've looked at the finished view and I've looked at this part here, and they look like
they're coming up there. So
and then they go across and then they come up. So they really want to go something. No, because if you look at the magazine, they most definitely go after the screw hole. So that actually wants to go there. I would say go and buy the magazine. That is absolutely correct there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Zoom that in. Okay. See if I can get a better view. Right. It's the lighting as well that doesn't help. So that is how it is in the magazine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So once we've done that, just come in there. So bring that there and then fix that. So then we take this second one. And again, because we've got these neat, they're easy to find. Oh, God, sorry. So that box just fell off my shelf. I do apologise. So look, because we've got these neat, we know it's this one we're after. Yeah, if you're just going to chuck them in higgledy-piggledy, you know when you get your cables behind your TV where you got your computer and your TV and you no longer know which cable goes to what. So you're trying to unplug the TV and you end up hitting any socket and you end up turning off the microwave and... Right, and I've just pulled off the cable. Okay. So, right. Because I've pulled it off, I'm just going to push that through. So again, I'm saying at this point, glue might not actually be the worst idea. But I would suggest maybe at this stage, glue on one side. Right, so... I can see a lot of swear words being said at this stage. This screwdriver is absolutely useful. This is your third finger.
I've got a bit of an update. You know, I haven't announced it on any of my videos yet, but my new screwdriver set I purchased. Absolutely fantastic.
Now, obviously, you know more than us, but do you think, looking at what I'm trying to do you think that yours would be better for this job?
For the screws, not necessarily for what you're doing now, but for the screws, 100%.
So that's the second one in. So the third one, again, they're neat, so we know which one is which. So the third one goes in. And that third one goes up to there. Okay, I want to try and just pull this out. Yeah, just check the magazine. Before you ever do anything, always just check the magazine. Right. One. So you see I've got two wires there and one there. I want all three there or all three there, but I think it's going to be all three there. Okay. Sorry, I'm having to keep check, but right. And then this fourth one, and it's the only one left. That will go. Will actually go on the outside. I did just check the magazine, and that's going to go round onto. Ah, this was the hard one, wasn't it? Oh, that's gone on okay. So, there you go.
Yeah, that's looking nice, that is.
And that stayed on. I would imagine that by the time we do next week's build, they will kind of set themselves into place. Right. Okay, are we happy with that?
Yeah, that looks really good. So we're now moving on to step 11. And we're going to need...
We've got you. Sorry, guys. Right, sorry. Right, so I just looked up to see that Horlick's view was on. Not a problem with you, Horlicks. But obviously we're trying to do this. So just in case you missed it, this is what mine is looking like from the bottom. And you can see they're all coming out of one side, but then they're all going into the corner. And then just dropped a steel ruler because it's so hot and I'm sweating. Right, this is the corner, and then they're going along into the bank of three there. Yeah, because I'm so hot, I'm sweating and I'm just sticking to anything. So
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit like that.
So do you think we can remove the masking tape now?
Well, I assume so, because that's now fixed, isn't it?
The lines that were fitted in step 5 and 6 have to be arranged to one side as shown in the insert with the screws in place. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that masking tape on. It looks like we can remove it, but if we now, like for example, if we place something over that, then obviously we're not ever going to get to that masking tape. So because I can still get at it, I'm going to leave it on.
Oh, hang on, is that snapped?
What's that? Oh my God. Yep. That was me leaning on it. Good spot there. Okay, so I'm just going to take that off camera because I don't want to show that off. Yeah, do you know what? I was pushing on it earlier on, and I caught my hand there, and it kind of moved, and I looked. So
The thing is, it's so difficult, isn't it? Because it's such a fragile part, and
there you go. Look, it's good as new. So this stream has been sponsored by Gorilla Glue. Do you know what? I always used to use cheap super glue, and look at that.
yeah,
That's
good. You can't even tell.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So yeah, lesson learned there. Be careful where you're putting your fingers. As I was working the hair, I had my hand resting there, and you can see what I've done, and I've just caught it. So be very careful where you're working.
But it almost looks, if you don't mind me saying, it almost looks now like there is a lot of stress on that because of that masking tape now.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you what. Let's pull a bit off.
Just see what it sits like, and then if it's all over the
I
place.
think it'll sit fine because what's going to happen is it was trying to pull up, but it's now going to be stopped from pulling up because it's now hooked underneath there. So I think that will be fine. It'll probably lift up a little bit. Oh, look at that. There you go. So that bit there is holding into place. That's why we had to mask it down.
Yeah.
So if you can put anything into there before you mask it, this is now going back to last week. That might be worth considering. Oops, sorry guys. So if you could put I mean, I do plastic modeling, so I'm usually got bits of plastic laying around. But maybe even just screw up a little bit of kitchen roll.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So learn from. There we go. Look, what I'll do, I'll get a bit of kitchen roll. I'll fold it into 4, then I'll make a cone from it, so that theoretically it's getting bigger, and then we can push that into there. Now that's not going to stop it. Oh god, it's just gone again. So it's not going to take a lot of pressure, but it might just take a little knock.
Yeah,
So I
it'd be
think
certainly better than leaving it.
yeah. Do you know what? I want to mask that back now. Trouble with super glue is it's kind of brittle. Right, I'm actually going to mask that back again.
Oh,
Right,
hello, Chris. Chris just joined us.
yeah. Yeah, sorry, hi, yeah. Yeah, no problems. No, I mean, yeah, it's you're always welcome to join us. How's your live streams been going, Chris? Do you know, I actually can't find my masking tape. I've moved a lot of things around in the last few days, and again, anyone who knows me regularly knows that I'm absolutely terrible at tidying up. So, right, well, I'm going to avoid as much contact with that as I can. Shall we get on with the next stage as much as we can?
Okay, so you need to grab the prop shafts
Prop shafts, prop shafts.
from the last issue.
Fantastic. I'll tell you what, that small part on there has made such a difference. For me, anyway. Right, so 23H.
Yeah, that's it. And it
Now,
says check the
just to remind you, these are
prop shaft.
metal, but they look like they move, but they don't. Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in then.
That's right. So yeah, it says check the fit of the prop shaft. The I can't say.
It's
I
the
can't
weather,
say
isn't
it.
it?
Yeah,
The weather's that bad you can't say protrusion.
protrusion. That's it. I always say that word. Yeah. The protrusion on the end fits into the socket on the differential.
Right.
14.
So
The other end has an eyelet that aligns with the screw socket in part 24A.
okay, so we've turned it so that we can push down on the suspension, and we've got the inside of the part we've just fitted exposed. So this is the orientation as per the magazine. I think that the hole is facing up rather than to one side, so that gives us a 50-50 way. I don't know if there's a difference between that way and that way, but we'll try. So this is going to go into the wheel, I'm going to call it. And okay, so I'm going to turn it round. Ah, brilliant. So if you have it, there's only two ways you can get it, and I can't figure out a way of deciding. I mean, you can see it's got an odd shape to it. I can't figure out a way to decide that this is right and this is wrong, or whatever. So what I would say is make sure this circle is facing up, pop it in. Right now, this hole there has got to go over there. There, I can't get it in. It's not. It's getting caught there. If I turn it 180 degrees and then pop, make sure that this bit there goes into there. There you go. It fits in there. Perfect. Okay.
Okay, lovely. So yeah, when it's in the correct position, use an FM screw to fix it into place.
Okay. So FM means washing up liquid.
Yes.
So little dab of washing up liquid. And I'm only putting a dab on the end. I put a couple of squirts in a bottle lid. There we go. And that's nice. It looks like it's going to move at the moment, but once we fix it, and I would support that from the bottom. Obviously, you guys will have more room than me. Oh, that's going in. Suits you, sir. That's going in lovely.
I'm not sure though, Penny. I think my workspace is actually smaller than yours.
You're going to need to move house before you finish this then. Right, that is in solid. Obviously, this is going to move at the back wheel because that's attached to the wheels. But that's fine. Okay, are you happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so
Dave's just said a point about this this part there, the spindly bit. I forget what it's called now. He said it might be worth. To be honest with you, I don't think we're going to be able to leave it off because you see, it's got to go in there, and it's going to be hard to get that in later on. I personally, I think I should have left gluing it until we finish this part, and then once we've glued it, it'll sit on the shelf for a week, and it'll have a week's curing time.
yeah.
So, and I've just noticed either my work surface isn't level or my chassis isn't level. Look. It could be my work surface, but it's not. It's sitting on 3 points, and this point is. I mean, it's a little bit of flex to it, so it might be okay. So shall we proceed?
Yes. So step 12. It says take the cover 24M.
Okay.
It should be the last part from this issue.
Okay. And that's gonna need to flip this chassis again.
That's it.
And that's
then
going.
check the fixing point near the end of the prop shaft.
Ah. Right. When I said flip the chassis, also turn it. Do you know what? Take that back. Don't turn it. Turn it. Don't flip it. So you actually need the inside of this. And okay. Lovely. So this is actually going to cover this part of the I've forgotten what it's called. Now you see there's two holes. Right down the middle where the two parts of the chassis meet, you've got two holes there. One slightly larger than the other. And that's for this part here. We've got a locating pin and a hole. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to get that in the wrong way because it won't go in, look. So there's only one way it can go in. So we just pop that onto there like so. And
Yep, and then we're going to fix that into place with a single AM screw.
lovely. Now, I am a tiny bit concerned because I have 2 EM screws. We normally have 1 screw left over, but in this case I have 2. But we don't seem to be missing anything, do we? You know, I'm using the wrong screwdriver for that one, aren't I?
Yeah, no, I've just been seeing. It says, right, EM screws. You should have had 7 in total.
Right, there we go.
So, one.
Whew. That was an hour and 20 minutes. So it was about an hour to do that.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. That was. Oh, I'm reluctant to say I'm sweating over this because it could just be the heat. But shall we, before we play speculation? Oh, sorry. Is there any questions about the build? That seems to have come out a little bit scruffy, but I'm not overly worried about it.
No, so a lot of that will probably be built up anyway. You probably won't see that come the end of it.
But I'm glad I said keep them neat because by the time you flip this over, it can be quite tricky to figure out which wire is which. So in fact, possibly consider putting these on late. Do you know what? I'm just noticed there's one coming a bit loose. Oh, that worked. Normally ideas that I have don't work that well. And this one did. Right, I'm not touching that. So I do wonder about glue. I mean, I'm not going to recommend gluing that, and I'm going to try not to glue it. But right, so let's have a look at next week's. Chris says good build. Stuart says I wouldn't worry about. One worry is there will be further piece of chassis to accommodate the engine. Yeah, I think we now seem to be building up the underneath part. So I'm still looking forward to putting that front wheel on. I feel so much comfortable once I do. Right, okay, so I'll go into next week, and I've got too many files in this directory, so...
Yeah, that looks interesting.
Yeah, well, you've got this to come, haven't you?
And I'm not quite sure even what that's supposed to be for next week.
So, next week's part is like that. A little bit clearer than this week's was last week, if that makes sense. And it says the left and right crankcases are assembled together with the oil sump, a flywheel, and the exhaust manifold. So, yeah. Right. Chris, there is my bad, Chris. I've had a really terrible week and I've not got anything done. I've got as far as buying you a special envelope to put the parts in. For those that you haven't got a clue what I'm on about, I had to build 3 parts. Well, I didn't have to, but Chris asked me to build three parts, 12, 13, and 14, which I've done, and I've just not been able to send them to him. It's my bad. I've just really had a terrible week and must try harder. I think that was what my report card said at school.
Yeah.
So right, let's oh, there we go. So do you want to have a quick speculation?
Okay, what are you thinking?
This part that we had last week,
Yeah,
I just noticed this isn't a major speculation. I've just noticed in there where you can't see, it's actually shaped hole. You see, it's a circle but with a flat top,
yeah, like a D shape.
and this has a D shape. So I'm going to guess with this little recess there and the hole there that that's going to go in there, which might give us an idea of the steering now. That's not a major speculation, and I know, but that's
Well, I don't think that is even really a speculation. I think that's fact,
okay. Fair enough then.
actually, because yeah, that's a perfect fit. I think that is definitely going to be.
So yeah, okay. There's me trying to get cheap brownie points. Right. So
No, it is looking good. There's so much more detail now.
yeah, it's getting fun now. So I'm trying to find when we do this thing where we the person that's broadcasting is saying.
Yeah,
So right, okay,
we're going to have to
so
wave around again and try and get it to.
yeah.
That was funny though.
I'll tell you what, I've earned my milkshake tonight.
What milkshake do you have?
I
Fridges.
have I have that Nesquik powder.
Oh, I like them.
And yeah,
What flavour?
strawberry for the win every single time.
For me, it's banana.
Yeah, no, banana repeats on me. I love the taste of it, but I'm tasting it for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So, right. This would be star guest time. So, today we're going to be talking to Horlicks, who is going to be talking to us. Now, for those of you who don't know, Horlicks came into the Routemasters quite late, about a month ago. He received issue, but basically he's am I right? Well, look, I'll tell you what. I'll let you talk about it. So tell us when you started and why you started and what you think of it.
Okay, so yeah, I started. Well, actually, I think it was about 2 months ago because I had to wait for the first delivery. So I only got issues one and two on my first delivery. And
You are
I
very
just.
dark today.
Oh, let me sort out some. I know, it's the
We
lighting's
love to
terrible.
we love to see your handsome face,
There
Horlicks.
you go. What about that?
Mm, much better.
Yeah, I need to get some new LED bulbs for the house. So yeah, I got issues one and two, and that was a couple of months ago. And I got them because I was watching. Obviously, I do my DeLorean R2 and that, and I was watching other people's bus builds, and I sort of felt left out. Really, I was looking at them, thinking, "Oh, the detail on them, detail is amazing." Um, and to be honest, it looked like there was quite like today's show. There is a lot to do in a lot of the issues as well. So yeah, that I was drawn to it, and obviously seeing you build it as well, Penny. And then I was like, no, I've got to have this. So yeah, so I started it a couple of months ago. So months passed. I've done issues one and two, and I've actually got them here. If we want to look at them again, so that's the front part, and actually because obviously this was all in separate parts, so I can't obviously show you the individuals. But actually, I've done it the wrong way around. Issue one was the bonnet,
What I've
and then
just done. Oh,
we've
oh,
got the front. What's happened?
I've tried to put your link in for your YouTube channel, but it won't let me. Okay, right.
Oh,
So
that's
what
me.
I've what I
Considering it's
it's
me.
Well, I'm trying to put a YouTube link in YouTube, and it's not letting me advertise YouTube in YouTube.
Oh,
There we go. Right. What I've done is I've just posted a link to Horlicks's channel. What you'll have to do is copy that and paste it into a new tab. Um, yeah. Sorry. But you'll have to put the www at the beginning because it won't let me do that. But yeah, what if you haven't seen Horlicks's channel? Like Davis just said, he's just put one up today. I've got to be honest with you, I haven't seen today's, but issues 1 and 2, in my opinion, have gone exactly the same way as his R2 and DeLorean build, which is a very nice, careful build. I'm impressed with the way that the parts are checked. He then checks them halfway through. He's built it, in the same way that I'll put things in just to grab it, and then I check, and then I tighten them up final. And your work is very neat, very tight. You're going to put my bus to shame. I know it. But I'm okay with that.
but no, no, not at all. I mean, obviously we're all in it together. That's the way I see it. And also, yes, as you say, as we said before, it's just the whole community around it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
There's all these people viewing now. I've heard of all of you, and I've seen you in my videos as well, and it's just brilliant. So what was I saying? Yeah, so obviously there's those two parts we've looked back at, and then obviously this month I got issues 3, 4, 5, and 6. They haven't all been published yet, but one, as you say, did go live tonight. I'm not even sure.
But we're all special, and we deserve to see what you've done beforehand, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm just going to go into that. So, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I really don't know what issue. I've lost count of what issue went live tonight, but
I think it was 4 because I'm pretty sure you did issue 3 last week. The stairs.
Yeah, that's right. So, obviously, issues 3 and 4, if I'm correct. Yeah, 3 and 4 were the stairs, which are just here. And I'll take your advice, Penny, with this. Before I secured this onto the platform, I left the side of the stairs off as to get these screws in straight. Because as you say, with that in place, there's no way you're getting a screwdriver in there square.
No.
Because of the angle. So I did leave this off, and I explained that on my video as well. So I could get till I got these kick plates in. Okay, so that's that part. So that was issues 3 and 4 done. And
yes, because issue 4 was the kick plates, wasn't it? Was the yeah.
Yeah.
One was the kick plates. That's it.
That's right. Yeah, issue 3 was just assembling the stairs and the side, and then obviously issue 4 was then doing the issue 4 was the bottom, the platform, and then the kick plates. And then obviously went on to issues 5 and 6, and then that was dealing with the front suspension, and I did actually really enjoy it. And there we have it.
That is fantastic. I remember that now. I've done that twice now.
And it does work. Everything's nice and tight. I did have, now I'm going to be honest, I had a lot of trouble with the screws on this. And I couldn't actually seem to find a screwdriver that fit nicely. You know when you've got a screwdriver that fits nicely, and none of them, even the ones supplied, didn't want to know.
Right.
So I found, unfortunately, on my videos, you're going to see me swapping about 20,000 screwdrivers. But because of that, I'm going to show, I've actually since bought this set, and you may recognize it if you watch the DeLorean build by, is it Joe Walser?
Right.
And
How much
I'm
did you
really.
pay for that?
This was 13 quid,
Right.
and I've never seen it before, but actually having it here is absolutely amazing. It's got 60 pieces. There's about 10 different types of Phillips heads. There's all sorts in there. Really, really nice set actually. Very nice quality. The handle has obviously got the twisty bit at the top, so you get a nice movement. And what I didn't realise until later on is if you pull this bit down, you can actually extend the screwdriver to get into the
Wow.
hard to reach places. And the whole thing just feels like it's got so much quality. And
Brilliant. So it
I've
is 13 times better than the pound down screwdriver.
you know what? I think those Poundland ones are going to go in the scrap pile
Really?
after this because I was working on my 3D printer earlier, giving it a service, and I decided to use these. Now I used this. Oh god, there you go. This end. It hasn't even marked it. You know, sometimes when you start using them and screwing, and it starts to, you get a load of metal shavings coming off, and none of that. It still looks immaculate, and it fit really, really beautifully. So I'm really chuffed for this, and I'm really looking forward to trying this on the bus. So I shall keep you
You will like
posted on that. But definitely at the moment, obviously I want to use it 2 or 3 times like yourself. But first thoughts on it is amazing.
brilliant. So
Um,
Chris is sorry.
yeah, so no, that was it. So what I was going to say is this. So I've done obviously this. Now I can understand that why a lot of you had so much issue with these springs because I couldn't actually do it by hand easily. It was so difficult, and I can understand now why everyone had a bit of issue with that. But luckily, as I said in a few ago, I printed this G clamp on my 3D printer, and it took a little bit of swearing and positioning because it kept flinging off, and I think it did on one of the videos, and you'll see that. But I did manage to get it on and then clamp this up, and as you can see, as I twist that, it's bringing that down, and then I managed to get the screws in, but I had to sort of do them in a funny order.
Yeah.
But
I didn't have problems with my screws, but I always felt that if you hadn't put all 4 screws in, that spring was actually strong enough to snap that screw.
yeah, that's what I was worried about. I put one in thinking, oh my God, it's going to, and then I was racing to get the other ones in before it put too much pressure on the one. But no, luckily it all went well, and my suspension works as it should.
And of course, that has to be now that I'm up to issue 24 and I can feel the weight of the chassis. I feel that, I mean, there's still a lot to go. I think those springs have to be strong
Yeah,
because with the weight of the bus, it's otherwise just going to push it to the ground.
push it to the ground. And no, as I was saying, you'll hear anyway, but the quality of this is amazing. Like I know I've seen your videos and you were describing what it's like, but until you actually get this in your hands,
Yeah.
you've got no idea, and this feels absolutely amazing. I mean, the only downside, which I'm not bothered about because obviously you probably won't see it, I have got quite a lot of paint running. I've got a run there,
Okay.
and I've got paint run this side as well,
Hmm.
and the same on this side here. Quite a big paint run,
Okay.
and a little bit there, but not as bad. But again, it's not going to be perfect because under the bus, this is going to be rusty anyway. So.
Yeah. So are you tempted to weather your bus up, or are you going to have it straight out of the magazine?
I think I'm just going to have it straight at the magazine.
Right.
I'd like to weather it up, but I don't think I've got the skills at the moment to tackle that.
Right.
So yeah, probably I'm just going to do it straight as it comes. And as I say, you're probably not going to see a lot of this. I mean, you will if you look because you know it's there, but when it's just sat on the table,
Yeah.
or the shelf, you're
Stuart
not going to
Sullivan
see
has
it.
said, Stuart Sullivan said that he has the same issue or had the same issue. So did you do anything about yours, Stuart, or did you just carry on with it? And
What?
Chris Davies has asked you, what's your favourite issue so far and why? Obviously, you've only done 6, but I suspect I know the answer. But which is the most the best one so far?
Probably 6. Well, 5 and 6. This whole bit here, I really enjoyed doing this. It was it was quite challenging, and as I say, I'm just so the quality is amazing,
Yeah,
and the
it,
weight of it.
yeah, just that one part.
Yeah. So, I've got a taste now. I want to get the chassis together and get it all. Yeah,
Well, you
just
wait till the chassis comes through the post and it knocks a hole in your floor where it's landed on the floor.
yeah. So I'm just trying to catch up on these comments because
Yeah, there's been a few coming through. I've been trying to keep an eye on them myself.
yeah,
So Dave Milner says, how quick are Hachette on sending back issues? They're sick of waiting for issue 13 from a newsagents. Now, I know that if you buy an issue from the shop, it says 5 to 10 working days. And I ordered, when I decided I was going to do the second build, I ordered 3 or 4 copies of issue 1 and then issues 2, 3, and 4. Now, this is my personal experience. I got them within the 2 weeks, but they must have got a bit confused with the order because they only sent me 1 copy of issue 1. I got 1 copy of everything rather than 3 of 1, and I think I ordered four different issues, but 6 copies in total. And then I rang them up and I said, "You've only sent me 1 copy of issue 1. So I need another 2 copies of issue 1." And they said, "Okay, fine, we'll send them out to you." And 2 weeks later, I got 1 copy of issue 1. So I rang them again and I said, "Look, I ordered 3 and you sent me 1, then you sent me another 1." So that it took me 6 weeks to get them, but 2 weeks is quite normal. But if you order a certain amount, I think it's £25, you get free postage. And if you order like £75, you get free, I think it's 48-day delivery, but you can pay for 48-day delivery. I personally would order 3 issues at a time, just enough to get that free postage. Otherwise, it's like £3 for postage. So I'm going to ask a
yeah,
bit of a favour, Horlicks. I need to just disappear from the computer for about 30 seconds. Could you possibly just carry on without me?
yeah. No, so yeah, no. Apart from that, though, so yeah, the screwdriver. I forgot to mention, like, if anyone's interested in trying these, they're called Oria, ORIA, and I got these from Amazon, and as I say, they were like £13, but I was using them earlier today. Amazing! You could just feel the quality, and the screws didn't jump or anything. So I was really happy with that. And in fact, let's have a little experiment, shall we? I've got this part here in my hand. Let me just see if I can marry up a nice, good uh, tip for it, and just see what it feels like, or even see if I could like tighten them up even more. Um, Look at that. So, yeah, they're gripping so nicely. I can even I could even tighten those as I couldn't before. And do you know what? I'm having a quarter of a turn on each of these, whereas before I struggled. That went in quite a lot. That was almost 2 turns on that one. So, and yeah, not a mark on there. So yeah, that's even tighter now. That's amazing. Really, 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 really good. So yeah, and as I say, it's got this extension bit. So Chris 5 and 6 had a bit of trouble. Springs, yeah. Do you know what? I was exactly the same, and I had a bit of a sweat on actually, and I thought, because originally you'll see the video if you're on my channel, but I didn't think this was actually going to work to start with, because I couldn't get a grip on it. Because obviously where you've got to put the 4 screws in the top there, I was trying to grip it, and it like this, it just kept trying to ping off, and one of the episodes it did actually ping off, and I don't know, I screamed or did something, and it was quite funny. I don't think I edited it out, but I was just saying, Penny, now you're back.
Yes, I am back, yeah.
I have just tried, and I'm absolutely amazed, this new screwdriver. I thought, why not? Let me find an end and see if I can tighten up any of these screws anymore. J1 is what it's marked up as. I think I'm back to front, but that's J1. Absolutely perfect fit on these screws. It completely locks in, and I've just been round all of these screws, and I've had another quarter of a turn on all of these. Brilliant. And then one of the screws I had another 2 turns on, and they are ones that I thought were tight because the screwdriver kept jumping at that point. But this one, it just locks, and I can't do it anymore now, but I've just done every screw another quarter of a turn.
Brilliant.
Apart from one,
You
I've got 2 turns.
them though, have you?
No, not over tightened. And all is good, but yeah, that was amazing. I definitely recommend this.
What I will do then is I will get you to send me the link on Facebook, and then probably tomorrow morning I will add that link to the description for this video. And if I remember, I will put it onto Friday's video as well with Horlicks's channel.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I mean, just amazing. It's good quality as well. You also get this little wobbly bit, obviously for doing round bends and things.
I do like your technical terminology, the wobbly bit.
The wobbly bit.
I'm sure, and then if there is a word for it, and I'm sure it's not wobbly bit, but
if you really want to, you can extend it as well, and then you can get right up in somewhere. And
so if you were a little bit old and arthritic, could you put a magnet on the end and pick the screws up that you've dropped without having to bend over?
Yes, because I think this is magnetic anyway, Penny.
What more could you ask for then?
Let me get a screw. I haven't got a screw.
Oh no. Did you not get any spares?
Yeah, but they're all away.
Well, flexible bit. Yeah, we like that. That's got to be better.
Flexible bit.
Let's call it a wobbly bit, shall we?
A wobbly bit. Oh yeah, look, I've got me screws there. Let's see if it's magnetic. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Flexible, wobbly, extending, and magnetic. What more could you ask?
What more can you want? And you know what? I'll tell you something else that's really good. Just as an added bonus, waffling a bit now. It comes with an adapter. So all of these parts are the same sort of much better quality than the Poundland ones, but they're the same size as the Poundland sort of tips. Right. So this comes with an adapter, so you can put that in there, and then you can fit that into a full-size screwdriver if you need extra grip.
Do you think I could fit that into my drill? I know I wouldn't use the drill on the partworks.
Yes, you could. But I've got one here, so this is obviously a normal size tip.
Yep.
Then that adapter allows you to go from the big one down to a small one. So if you need to get extra grip, you're going to have
Brilliant.
to do that
So
with
if you're
these.
not happy with the handle that it comes with, you could go out and get a different handle that you
Yeah,
are
because it's
comfortable
quite
with.
small. So if you're doing something that requires a lot of torque and you want to use the bits, then obviously you get the adapter in there to adapt it up to a bigger size, which I think is
So,
just a little bonus.
so how long do you think it's going to be before all YouTubers are going to be using that screwdriver?
Well, I must admit, obviously I saw it through the Back to the Future builds. Is it No Concept of Time?
Okay.
Joe Walser, is it? He did it, and then I've seen it for a while, and then I've noticed he was getting comments saying, "Where'd you get your screwdriver from?" So I
Right.
managed to get the link, and a lot of people I saw buy it, and I thought, you know what, I really want to try this because he always seems to be using it the same every week,
Yeah.
never changing screwdrivers and things like I am.
So he's not doing like one screwdriver to get the screw in, and then another one
No,
to put it in, and
I
then
mean
a third
yes,
one to actually tighten it.
no, I mean he's obviously using different tips
Yeah.
occasionally, but it's just the quality is amazing. I think
Brilliant.
so.
Do you
This is
realize
a
how, do you realize how much power we have as YouTubers? We could say, buy this, and
yeah.
people will go out and buy it.
We're gonna have to get a link, aren't we? A
Yeah.
what do you call it?
An affiliate link.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Give us a discount and we will advertise your products.
But the thing is, I don't know if they should have been in there. I'm going to show you this. Obviously, sorry to bang on about this screwdriver set,
Right,
but
we're enjoying it by the looks of it.
all of the all of those bits are all nicely in their little holders. But then at the top, see, they've just like chucked two extra ones in.
Okay.
Just like I don't know whether they're supposed to be in there, but they're like in the ones are really, really, really thin point. Actually, really thin.
So
It's
basically,
it's almost
we
like a
like this
needle,
product. Oh God, that isn't all, isn't it?
but it's a Phillips.
Okay. So how does that compare with the small Routemasters screwdriver?
Um, it's smaller than that.
Really? So we've got all angles covered here then.
But yeah, if you want them, then I would suggest a J000. See, you've got so many different types of Phillips, and I've got autofocus on, which is really annoying.
It's all right. Do you know, I reckon I could muddle them up in what, 2 weeks?
That's why my OCD is kicking in because it's a new set. I've been making sure I put the right one back in the right in the right
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Give me 2 or 3 builds and they'll all be in the wrong order.
Yeah, but I'm going to try not to let that happen. But no, first thoughts on this is absolutely amazing for the money.
Brilliant.
Absolutely amazing. So I
Well,
shall
it
look
is
forward to using them.
amazing how much difference a good equipment makes, isn't it?
Well, that's it. I mean, I can't believe I just got a quarter of a turn on all of these because I was convinced they were all tight.
Yeah.
One of
But
them had
I
two
do find
turns.
I mean I like these Routemasters screwdrivers, but I do feel they're a little bit soft.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. It's sort of that's what I was trying to explain. You can sort of feel it starting to chew the head,
Yeah.
but with them, it doesn't seem to do that. I don't even know what it's made out of actually. I wonder if
Probably
it says
drop board steel.
bits are made of 6150 chrome vanadium steel.
Okay.
I can't say I've ever heard of vanadium steel,
No.
chrome vanadium steel, but whatever they are, they're very, very tough.
But whatever it is, you like it.
I love them. I love them absolutely.
Well, there you
So
go, guys. There's your recommendation. I will get that. If you come back tomorrow, I will have that link on there for you.
And
And
then
we have a dislike.
you're gonna have to get a set and back me up.
Yes, yes, I will do.
I know we've buying because we bought the Wilco ones, which was a recommendation. But yeah, I agree with you on that one. They're okay, but they're not really ideal for the bus.
Oh, there we go. Stuart Sullivan has said it. Palladium is a strong metallic element. Well, there you go. That's probably why it's not stripping the threads, because it's
Strong
actually. But also, you've got ah.
chrome
So
vanadium
basically, the word here is
quality.
strong quality. Yeah.
There you go.
So you're spending a little bit more money, but you're getting that quality for it.
But they feel like well, the bit I just use, like when you very first got the pound and screwdriver, and it was like, oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like that, but I think it's going to last.
Okay.
And the handle's so much nicer to use as well.
Well,
So,
you do a lot more part works than me, so yours should theoretically wear out quicker than mine. So we'll keep a tab on that then.
but yeah,
Right.
I think that's it. That's me. Like for this, for the Routemasters anyway.
Yeah. Is that your way of saying get that camera off me?
No, not at all. No, I'm happy.
So I'm going to finish up with something. I haven't actually mentioned this to Horlicks yet, because I just remembered it.
What's this?
Last week I made kind of a passing comment about visiting the I've forgotten what it's called now. There's a museum that was mentioned in issue 23, and I thought about maybe organising a day out for everybody. Is that something that would actually interest someone? Because I'm sure that if I rang them up and said, "Can you give us a group booking?" we could pass that saving on to everybody, and maybe have a big day out. Is that something that
That's a good idea,
sounds fun?
actually, because you're a bus driver, so you could hire a coach and then come and pick us all up.
Oh, don't say that. The logistics, that would be awful. I know Dave Say lives in the north. I live in Wales. You live down south. That's three people that have all got a problem there. But I mean, obviously, I could bring Chris Davies up because I know he's nearby. But theoretically, is that a good idea? Is that worth me perhaps just exploring a bit further? Because I think that would be fun, and it's even if you didn't want to spend the day with all the other part workers, you could just go along, just take the cheap ticket, and then right. Dave says, unfortunately, I'm unable to go. Oh, that's a shame. Do you busy all the time, Dave? Actually, I'm not going to push that because I might end up getting him to say something that might be, you know.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all in such different parts. I mean, it might be good if it was somewhere sort of central to everyone, but obviously
yeah,
we can't move the museum, so
yeah. I mean, I think theoretically, it's probably we're all going to have to meet up there at a certain time on a certain day, and for some people that would be harder than others. I mean, obviously, I can drive up, so I
yeah,
could leave at 4 in the morning.
obviously I can
But
drive.
yeah, and
It's
obviously
definitely an
we would
option.
bring back pictures for the benefit of those that couldn't make it. But hopefully we'll be able to see some relevant things. You never know; they might just have a DeLorean in there as well.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I could take
right.
mine along, and then there would be one.
Well, yeah,
I could
yeah,
just set it up for the day.
right. Stuart Sullivan says, "Oh, get the bus." Oh, yeah, maybe you're nearby. Right. Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna look at ending the show now because it's been 2 hours. Oh, I've got 3 dislikes now. Oh, I
Yeah.
feel really good now. Um, fantastic. Um, Sorry, no, I've been having issues on my videos with dislikes, and I've been looking at the analytics, and it's the same person, and I gotta be honest with you. There's been times when it's been getting me down because I'm thinking, oh, sorry, bear with me. I set my alarm for 10 o'clock every Wednesday because it reminds me I've got to take the bins out. So yeah, I must admit it's been getting me down at times, but mainly because it's like, well, if someone's disliking something, then there's room for improvement there. But
Yeah, I was
looking
going
at
to
the
say
analytics, yeah.
it's a
But look,
shame.
and
Like, if there's anyone, whoever, I mean, perhaps whoever's, I mean, they might not want to be known, but perhaps the person that has, or the people that have disliked it, just drop us a comment. Let us know what you think could be improved.
yeah, I mean, if it's something that they want featured, maybe they don't like the way I do. I don't know, something. Maybe they want us to do the build later on and do the news first or something. It's we're at the end of the day, when I make videos, I make them for me. And I want to look back at my videos in a year or two's time. Um, Things like this show. I mean, that came about by accident where I had problems with Twitch, and I just felt I was able to reach out to more people. And the feedback that we're getting is that we are doing something right, and people are getting something from it. But to be honest with you, oh, my dislikes have just gone down. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there, Stuart. But what actually made me not bother about the dislikes was last week we had 2 dislikes before the show even went live.
Yeah,
So that just made me realise that we're not doing anything wrong. I'm not saying there isn't room for improvement because um, ideas just pop up all the time, and once you think of an idea, and of course, a lot of things come from um, you can't come up with an idea until you've come up with another idea beforehand because everything progresses from one point.
hmm
Um, so yeah, it's not really bothering me anymore, not as much as it used to. Um, but as I say, the analytics tell me it's the exact same person every single time. So I've either got a troll or somebody. But then again, if it's the same person, like everyone says, you can't please everyone all the time. There's channels out there that I don't like, so I do the common sense thing, and I don't waste my time with those channels. I don't have a lot of time spare, so why am I sitting there half an hour every day watching a channel that I don't like? It just
yeah.
seems pointless to me. So listen, guys, thank you so much. You just do not know how much I appreciate your support. I'm really happy when you enjoy the show. Obviously, we'll always listen to any comments that you think, if you come up with an idea. Um, but next week, like I say, we're going to be doing some little tests just to make sure everything works fine. So hopefully next week's show will be presented by 3 people. Um, I'll give away as much as I can, but it's going to be someone that you know. It's going to be somebody that does the part work build, and they are to a degree they're up to date. So if you can come up with any questions to ask, um, possibly try to make them generic rather than about a specific person. Um, but yeah, if you can come up with any good questions, I mean, I'll be doing the same as well, and hopefully Horlicks will as well. And we'll have a bit of a grill Graham. I don't know if anybody watches radio or listens to radio too on a Saturday, but you've got Graham Norton has a show, and he has his section Grill Graham. So we'll have that. So
No,
yeah, oh,
I've not heard of that.
it's actually quite good because these people they write in with these stupid things like my friend smells and never has a wash. Should I tell them or not? And it's like, why do you need to ask BBC that question? Obviously, don't ask this guest whether if they smell or not, because that's not really appropriate.
No.
But yeah, if you've got like Chris has asked about favorite part, I suspect that question is going to come up. In fact, that's a question that I'm going to ask myself because I know there's a couple of people out there that the parts that I enjoy the most are the parts that you enjoy, you enjoy the least, and the parts that you like the least, the most, are the ones that I don't like. I didn't really enjoy the chassis so much because it was just too simple. Is that without sounding derogatory? Everybody loved the chassis because the build went from that big to that big in 2 weeks, and in that sense it was brilliant. But to me, putting four screws in wasn't challenging, and I think the part that we've done today might just possibly be the best part for me ever. I did really enjoy that.
Yeah, it was
So,
good. There's so much detail there as well.
well, I think I said last week's part was my favourite, but I think this part has just edged ahead. So,
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
obviously that is going to happen, isn't it? Because you don't know
yeah,
what's coming up. So, you know, you can't say that issue 50 is going to be my favourite because we haven't got it yet.
yeah. I am going to
So,
say one thing though, and this comes up on Facebook and other things a lot. Um, yeah, Dave, that's exactly what I was about to bring up. Um, there are going to be parts that are tedious, boring, horrible, frustrating. You just won't enjoy them. Um, we've had parts already where people have said, "Oh, is that it?" And in fact, actually, a lot of people complained about you're going to get this in your next pack, Horlick. Sorry to spoil it, but you're going to get the disc brakes, and it's not going to look an awful lot to do. But I've got to be honest with you, I enjoyed the wheels, not the actual wheels, the actual discs. Um, the wheels were quite. The first wheel I thought was okay, and then the second one was a bit tedious. And I was happy to get the back wheels as soon as we got them because it got them out of the way. But just remember that there's going to be slow issues, and everybody seems to moan about the slow issues, but they don't remember the good value for money issues.
mm,
And it's I would say that if, as an average issue out of the first 24, I think it's been absolutely brilliant. And I think it's well worth the money. Ian Mitchell has just jumped in and said this bus is an investment, and I think you're absolutely right. I think that this is going to be worth well more money than we're paying for it. And excuse me, if you are good at building this, and you know someone that isn't good at building it, I think there's money to be made as well. Once it's finished, if you can get hold of all of the parts, I think you could probably command quite a good price for building it for someone. Because there's always people out there that can't do things and they're prepared to pay people money. I'm not telling you to go out and quit your job and build buses for people, but you know, you guys watching this now, some of you might think you're not very good at things, but to be honest with you, the skills that you need to build this bus, you're all pretty clever guys. I promise you that. So there's nothing like it in scale detail. Yeah, someone did say to me last week there's a 1 to 12 scale bus out there. I can't remember who makes it now, but I don't like it because it comes ready built, and that's not what I'm after. Okay, I would like to have this Routemaster in less than 2.5 years, but at the same time, I don't want to buy it ready built. I don't know if you agree with the same with that, Horlicks.
yeah, no, I enjoy the build. So that's all. You know, I wouldn't like
Mm,
it. I wouldn't.
yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't like it pre-assembled.
yeah. I mean,
And I don't
obviously,
think I would find it's obviously it would be worth the money, but I think you would find it less value for money if it was you spent that money and just got the final product. If you see what I mean, I think part
yeah,
of the spending the money is the building it.
yeah. Stuart Sullivan has just said Sun Style 1 to 24, which is exactly it. So you've got a bus that's half the scale and it's already assembled. Yeah, that's oh, I've just realised my next delivery, I should be getting a free gift. I should be getting that bonnet roundel. So that'll be good. I'll be showing that off when I get it. Um, for the subscribers out there, have you noticed that the last two packs have been coming rather quick? I noticed that it was coming about 2 weeks after the last issue came out, but the last two deliveries have actually been on the Thursday, the day after the pack. So they must have sent that out before one of the issues was even published. So I don't know if anyone else. Yeah, Stuart's noticed it. So I think Hachette have had teething problems at the beginning, and they've learnt from the mistakes and they've made improvements, and they've got on with it, and they made the whole thing a more pleasurable experience. I'm hearing a less complaints about Hachette, and more good things about them. So I think this build is getting better and better. Yeah, we've had the also the problems we've had with the magazines. Have the subscribers all got their issue 16 yet? Um, in fact, did you? I'll show you it next week actually, because it's the other side of my room. But yeah, we got the new issue 16. The problems with issue 12 or issue 13, I think, well, for me, they've been sorted out. So, yeah, I got to be honest with you, going back 2 or 3 months, um, I wasn't happy, because it was the customer service side. And the only reason I didn't quit was because I couldn't get this anywhere else. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to put up with it. I wish it was made by someone else, but I really want this build. But I got to admit, in the last 2 months, I'm really happy that Hachette are publishing it, and I'm really happy with them. Although saying that, with other builds, I'm really happy with the Agostini, so they could have done it as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. So, is there anything else you need to add, Horlicks?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Right.
Um,
Okay. So because I'm gonna look at closing. This is quite a long show today. I do apologise for keeping you all up.
yeah, I'm absolutely sweating out in this little
Oh,
room. I need to go and get some air.
yeah, tell me about it. Well, I've got to do a Game of Thrones catch up because it's going to take me all year to get through them again. Um, and I've been threatened. But yeah. Oh, let me show you this. I know this has nothing to do with Routemaster, but I got myself this 3D printer Monday. It arrived, and I have been printing stuff quite badly. There's quite a lot of swear words have been said, but I made this. Now, many of you know that I'm a painter, and Horlicks very kindly printed these off for me pre me owning a 3D printer, and they're just paint racks for this particular brand of paint. I won't go into them in case you don't know about them. And these are absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely love them. Um, but I built these for my model colors, and it's just a simple stand. And they, as you can see from the holes on the bottom, you can stack them up. It's not brilliant. It's warped a little bit. I've still got a hell of a lot of calibration to do. Alex will tell you how much I've been swearing about this.
Yes,
Um, but
a
it's
little
not,
bit too much.
yeah, probably was a lot too much. But yeah, I've made my first usable, practical thing, and I'm really happy with that. So, yeah, right. So people are deserting us now because their dogs are more important than us now. So that obviously means we've gone on a little bit too long.
Too long, yeah.
Um, yeah. So I'm going to leave the show there. Thank you ever so much, guys, for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you next week, or we will see you next week, when we are doing the left and right crankcases together with the oil sump, a flywheel, and the exhaust manifold. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. You take care.
Yeah. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.